Right now, let's have some fun.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
He's back. Chris Dietz is back with us.
Let's open up the gates of Valhalla.
What up, Dietz? You're kind of muted.
You're muted, Dietz.
Dietz, you're muted.
There he is.
There we go.
Oh, we got it. We got him. How you doing, Dietz?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing great. Well, Droid wasn't outstanding when the show started because he was going,
Hey, Dietz is here. I can't not be happy.
You're right.
That's all of us.
That just brings a smile to everybody's face.
That's all
right.
That's all of us.
Just because I make everybody else look better.
Dietz has been saying that to me for the last 8 years, okay?
I feel like I have support now.
So yeah, dude, looking at the ranked matchups this week, who is your game to watch?
The game to watch. It's funny. The last 2 weeks, the game to watch has been Friday night, and you know, I kind of like this as a fan, but as a football person, I don't like this at all. I don't like them moving to Friday night.
Right.
They always said we're not going to infringe Friday because Friday's for high school, and now they've said, well, scrap that idea, and
we're infringing on Fridays.
Exactly.
And you'll notice all the games that they're going after are all games outside of the state of Texas because they know nobody's going to pay attention to college football on Friday night.
Right.
Not in Texas.
Because those high school teams play hard.
Yeah. Duncanville, DeSoto, like those go hard.
They really do.
But I do like that Illinois-Nebraska game is going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun one to watch, and it's just nice to be able to say Nebraska is going to be fun to watch because it's been a decade since we've been able to say that.
That's true.
It's been a long time since we've been able to say Nebraska is going to be fun to watch this year. What makes them so much fun to watch?
What makes them fun? I mean, what makes them fun to watch is Matt Rule on the sideline. He's and we all know his past. We all know he didn't get it in the NFL. This guy is a great college coach. You go back to his time before the Panthers, and this guy, he knows how to build a program, and he's done it the right way at Nebraska. Yeah, they struggled in his first year. Now they seem to have gotten the offense together, and it's just a fun offense to watch. It's fast paced. It keeps the game moving, and you can tell that the kids have bought into what he's selling. So I really like that. Plus they have a really good running back, and that always helps in a Matt Rule. In a Matt Rule offense, if you have a really good running back, you're going to go places.
What about Areola? What do you think about him as their quarterback?
I haven't seen it. I mean, he's young, so I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough of him to say, he's great. I haven't seen enough of him to say he's garbage. He's, again, with Matt Rule calling the plays, with Matt Rule knows his quarterback. He knows when to put him in option situations, and so far he's made the right decisions. We'll see what happens when he plays a tough team. Well, this will be the toughest test that he's had of his career, but when we get down the road and we get into the meat of the Big Ten schedule, then we'll be able to assess him more. Otherwise, we'll end up with a Bo Nix situation where we said, oh, this guy's great when he beats Oregon as a freshman, and then the rest of his career is garbage. I mean,
Yep.
Bo picks.
Man, Mo picks, right? Mo picks. All right. What's another game you're keeping what's a Saturday game you're keeping your eye on?
Everybody's going to have their eye on USC Michigan. Especially after what happened last time we saw Michigan in the big house and we saw Texas just run right through them.
Yep.
So that gives me more to watch Michigan and see, all right, was Texas that good or is Michigan that bad?
That bad, yeah. Because it's starting to look more and more like Michigan was just a fluke flash in the pan team.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Snowman and I are, we've talked about this all. We talk about this all the time. When I watch the games on YouTube and you get the chat going, and you've got Michigan getting rolled, at home, and you've got people going, "Oh, we need see what happens. We need a new head coach." And I'm like, "You just hired this guy.
You just hired him. Yeah,
you just hired him. You lost your starting quarterback. You lost the star running back. You lost basically your entire defense. Your offensive line is in shambles. Like." Give this guy not to mention you're playing Texas. It's not like you were playing, South Dakota State or somebody. You were playing a top 5 team, and Michigan is not a top 5. They're not a top
Colorado.
5 team. They're a young team rebuilding,
right?
And not to mention, none of this matters to Michigan. Like now, it matters because it's a Big Ten game,
right? Yep.
But playing Texas in September does not matter because guess what? If you beat Ohio State, you're going to the conference championship. So that's what matters. But what everybody's looking at now is, they see Ohio State blowing teams out because they're playing, Ohio Valley Community College because that's what Ohio State does. And they're like, Ohio State looks really good. Like, of course they look really good.
Wait a minute. And there's no lie to be found. As I said, Chris and I have been doing this for 8 years now. And every time he brings that example up to me, I'm falling out laughing. Because he's so true with that. One, it's true. And two, I used to live in Ohio. And I've seen Ohio Valley Community College, man. All right, and it would be the same kind of situation. But besides USC and Michigan, what Saturday games are you paying attention to?
The other one, the other ones are pretty much later in the day. But of course, I'm going to have my eye on Notre Dame because God knows what happened to Notre Dame against Northern Illinois. They decided not to show up, so
and they're not going to show up again.
I mean, at home against Miami of Ohio,
does that not have upset written all over it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does, but at the same time, I think Notre Dame already got that out of the way, and we have this every year with Marcus Freeman. It's whether it's Marshall coming in, whether it's Northern Illinois already this year. Every single time you get. Notre Dame plays the best game they've played, which against Texas A&M, they played their hearts out. They won the game. They were lucky to hold on to that game, but they did end up winning. But every time they do that, they take 2 steps. It's like taking 1 step up, 2 steps back because the next week they go out and flop.
And they go flop, yep.
And then at the end of the year, everybody's going to say, oh, well, Marcus Freeman got him to a bowl game. Like that's not good enough at Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Notre Dame is about getting to a playoff and winning championships.
Exactly. They're looking for the championships.
They're looking for that crystal ball at the end of the season.
Snowman and I went back and forth on this in the off season, in the preseason, off the air. But a big game this weekend that no one seems to be talking about is Utah, Oklahoma State.
Snowman, that was actually one of the games we were going to be picking.
That's one of the games we're picking because I now have my eye on that game, Utah, Oklahoma State. We'll get to our picks in just a moment. But Dietz, why are you looking at Utah, Oklahoma State? It's a low-key good matchup. Well,
first off, it's an early season matchup, but these are the two teams that I'm looking at in the Big 12. In the Big 12. At the beginning of the season, I was tossing up, which one am I going to go with? Utah? Am I going to go with Oklahoma State? And obviously, in the preseason, I'm always going to go with the mullet over Kyle Whittingham. So therefore, I picked Oklahoma State at the beginning of the year. Utah's looked like a very good. They look like a typical Utah team where they're just balanced all over the place. They've got a couple playmaking wide receivers, and you see what you can do. But this is a trip outside of Utah. They always play well in Utah. Now they got to go outside. They got to go into Cowboy country.
Yep.
And that's a tough thing to do. And of course, we saw it in the intro. I love the mullet. He's my favorite coach in college football right now. But this is a must-have season for. It's been too long since we've said Oklahoma State's in it for the Big 12, and now Texas is gone, Oklahoma's gone. It's time for Oklahoma State to step up to the plate. So that's why I've got my eye on this game. Plus, you got guys like Spencer Sanders. Oklahoma State's got a lot of talent. Can they put it together and finally get to a Big 12 championship game?
Right.
That is the question.
What is going on in Colorado? Because how did that become such a mess, a monumental mess in a span
Thank
of
you
less
for
than a
taking my
year?
next question, Victor. I'd love to get Deese's thoughts on
Because
Colorado.
less of a year, they just used to be a dynamo, a high-scoring dynamo, and now it's become an absolute mess of a team.
It's only a mess to people that bought in, and everybody bought in hard on Deion Sanders.
Yes, they did.
Before he even coached his first game at Colorado, people were saying, "Oh, this team's going to be a playoff team," and I'm like, he took over a 1-11 team. Like,
True.
Yes, he brought in his son. He brought in a bunch of guys, transfer guys, and brought in a bunch of 1AA guys. Yes, he has Travis. First of all, Colorado has to find out what they want to do with Travis Hunter.
Right.
Do they want him to be a wide receiver, or do they want him to be a defensive back?
Thank you for saying that aloud.
He can't be both.
Gotcha.
And not that he doesn't have he has the talent to be both, but he cannot be on the field 98% of the game.
Yes.
He's going to run out of gas just like he did last year and get hurt again. So they need to decide, do they need him more on wide receiver, or do we need him more on defensive back? Because they got to pick one, let him play it, and let him dominate that position.
Let it be his major. Let it be his major, and then the other one be where he can provide backup.
But as far as why it's a mess, you're talking to somebody. I told you last year they were going to struggle. I told you last year they were going to struggle.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything different coming into this season other than, all right, Shedeur Sanders has another year. So I was thinking maybe they can get to a bowl game this year and keep progressing along. That doesn't seem that they seem to be going down the rabbit hole. But I didn't buy into Deion, so I don't see it as a mess. I'm just saying, all right, this is what Colorado, this is what you bought in for. You brought in Deion Sanders for pomp and circumstance. And when it comes to the nuts and bolts, he's got to bring players in. And right now, you're not going to bring players in if you start the season 0-3.
And there was like chat back before the NFL season started that maybe the Cowboys would try and get Shedeur out of the draft next year. Do you think that plays a part in it?
I think Shedeur, when he decides to come out, and I think he would come out after this year, unless they just have a complete disaster or there's an injury or something. But where he is in the draft, it would all depend on who gets taken before him. He's definitely not definitely not at the top of the quarterback list. When you got guys like Carson Beck, you got Ellers down in Texas, you've got a couple of these other guys that are ahead of him. If the Cowboys could get him in the third round, yeah, you definitely jump on. You definitely jump on. Hey, we'll take a flyer on him and see what you can do. But again, that all depends on how he does that. How he progresses this season, because you watch him and he has all the talent. He's just making bad decisions this year.
Yeah,
bad decisions with football.
Snowman has eloquently put it in his play-by-plays when he's done games for Colorado about undisciplined play, particularly from Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
And that's been his MO. That was his MO last year. Yeah, he had great explosive plays, but they were usually when the play breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
When the play breaks down, when he's able to break contain, that's when he's able to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't manipulate the game from the pocket, you cannot play in the NFL.
No, you can't.
We've seen it too many times. Guys have to win the game from the pocket, and that's not his game. And Victor, as a Cowboys fan, with me being a Cowboys fan, we've seen what happens when quarterbacks make bad decisions.
Brother man.
We saw enough of it last weekend. I mean, we've already got a quarterback that makes bad decisions.
Yes, we did.
And something Victor has said so many times about decision making. Dietz, you've said it. I mean, we all have said it. You cannot make bad decisions in the pocket. Once you make bad decisions in the pocket, then last Sunday at AT&T Stadium happened, and what's happened with Colorado has happened. All right, let's make some picks. Our picks today are brought to you by BetUS.com. Shane will read them, and then we'll go around the horn. Shane, take it away.
Let's start with the game you're calling. Northwestern on the road to Washington, who is favored by 10.5 into this game. Snowman?
I'm making this with my heart and not my head. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going with Northwestern for the upset. As weird, as crazy as that is, but I'm picking it because it's Northwestern.
Yes,
okay.
Let
me just go ahead and say it now. I'm picking it because it's Northwestern. But something about that game spoke to me.
Yes,
playing the national you're playing the national championship runner-up. They're favored huge, and every time I have seen it since I've been a fan, almost every time they are. That the other team is favored huge, Northwestern comes up with something crazy. I'm going with the Wildcats.
DC, what you got?
Northwestern to cover, Washington to win. Washington wins, but Northwestern. I think Northwestern keeps it close, and the way that they play, I don't think they let that game get out of hand.
Yeah,
Vic?
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Vic, what you got?
I'm going to go with Snowman. Stranger things have happened when the Northwestern Wildcats are involved. I'm going to go for the Wildcats this time.
Droid?
You know, that last year's national title game was a real disappointment for a lot of people. Because a lot of people didn't want Michigan to win a natty. They wanted Washington to win. Washington is without their coach from last year. They're not looking the greatest, but I still think I'm going to pick Washington to win this game.
And finish it off.
I'm taking Northwestern in the upset.
Oh, wow. 3 votes for Northwestern. All right, what's our next one?
Next one on the list, number 24, Illinois on the road, taking on the tough Nebraska Cornhuskers, ranked 22. Nebraska 9-point favorite. Snowman, lead us off.
God damn it. That Nebraska quarterback looks pretty good. And to see Illinois in the rankings looks pretty good also. But I got to go with the home team. I got to go with the Huskers.
DC.
I know Snowman just talked about the quarterback. This game is going to come down to the black shirts. In Lincoln, Nebraska shows up. I'm going with the defense of Nebraska. I'll take Nebraska to win and cover.
All right,
Vic.
I'm gonna say Nebraska too. I think they're still rolling off the high of them actually beating Colorado. So they're running off that high. I think they're gonna try and make a real big run out of it. So I'm gonna go Nebraska.
Droid?
The quarterback look nice.
I think I'm going to go with Dylan Raiola's Nebraska Cornhuskers. Just the way he's played, the way he's carried himself up to this point in the season, I'm really excited to see this game.
All right, Shane, do you make it unanimous?
I'm taking Nebraska, and they'll cover.
Next one.
USC on the road, going to the Big House, Michigan, and USC is a 5.5 point favorite. No man, kick it off.
Oh, what the heck? USC to cover and win. That's all I got to say.
Dietz.
Yeah, Michigan's got no quarterback right now, and USC has Lincoln Riley running their offense. Too much offense and too much Michigan. Michigan is they're just depleted right now, and USC's too powerful. I'm going with USC.
Vic.
Yeah, for all the reasons we've all said, they're the walking wounded right now. Michigan is walking wounded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going UFC to take this all the way through, hands down.
Droid.
Tails.
Okay, what does that mean?
The coin speaks, and it's making me pick Michigan.
I'm taking USC to cover.
Next one.
The Seamus-led Georgia Tech team rolls into Louisville, who is currently the 10.5 point favorite. Snowman?
Georgia Tech for the upset. I'm taking all 10.5 of those points.
Dietz?
Something spooky about Georgia Tech should spook the daylights out of Louisville. I'm going with a rambling wreck to not only am I taking those points, I'm calling for the straight up win.
Dietz? What you got?
Again, too much Louisville defense. Georgia Tech is a very, very, very funky offense, but Louisville's seen. It's not like Louisville hasn't seen them. They played them in the ACC. They know what they're getting, so they're not going to be fooled by that. And a lot of people forget because Florida State's been such a disaster this season, but they forget that Louisville was in the ACC championship game last year. This is a good football team. I'll take Louisville at home.
All right.
Vic?
Yeah, I got to go with the home team on this, so I'm going to go Louisville to take the win on this one.
All right, Droid.
I'm going to stick to my guns, saying that this is the upset of the week, and I'm going to give it to Georgia Tech.
Finish it off, Shane.
I can't go against the big Irish fella Seamus running everybody out in that game. Give me Georgia Tech.
3 for Tech and 2 for Louisville. We're split again. Next one.
Number 12, Utah on the road visiting number 14, OK State, who is a 3-point favorite in the game. No man?
Yes. I'm going with Utah. This is a Big 12. This is a Big 12 game. Dietz said it at the top of the segment. Utah has a chance. Utah's got to prove themselves. I think they proved themselves at Boone Pickett Stadium. Going with the Utes.
Dietz?
I'm sticking with my guy Mike Gundy. Until I can't roll with them anymore. I'm gonna take them. Plus, they're at home. They've got all the weapons. As I've said, they've got all the weapons. They should, on paper, they should run this game out of the building. But we know Utah's scrappy. Utah's scrappy. They'll stick around.
That's why I'm picking them. That's exactly why I'm picking them.
I think Oklahoma State's got the horses, and I'm believing in Mike Gundy until he shows me not to. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. Greatest line ever. Greatest line ever.
Greatest press conference ever.
Yes,
Vic, who you got?
It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to have to go with Utah on this one.
Why you almost make me spit up my drink, Victor?
What did I do?
Droid?
You know how I love to represent my Big 12.
Uh-huh.
And I hate Oklahoma, but I don't hate Oklahoma State. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Finish it, Shane.
I'm calling for another upset. Utah wins it.
Oh, it's going with Utah. What's our next one?
Vanderbilt on the road, number 7, Mizzou, who is favored by 3 touchdowns.
Mizzou. Give me the Tigers.
Yeah.
Dietz?
What'd you say the spread on that game was?
21 in favor of
3
Mizzou
full touchdowns
21 in favor of Missouri.
against Vanderbilt.
against them.
This is Vanderbilt. They need about 6 touchdowns to cover this game.
So that's another one for Mizzou, I take it.
All right,
Victor?
Troy. Oh, the Victor's next. Sorry, Victor.
Yeah, this will be I gotta go with Mizzou on this one. I haven't seen a whole lot from Vandy. Haven't seen a whole lot from Vandy to make me jump on the bandwagon. So I'm gonna go with Mizzou to win this one.
Droid?
You know how I like to cheer for underdogs who are projected to be blown out.
Yes.
Example, Exhibit A was Philadelphia, Atlanta on Monday.
He's not gonna let us live that one down. I already can see this one.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. I am never letting a single one of you live down doubting me picking the Falcons.
I've already lived it down. Next.
Make your
But
pick
I am
already.
going to pick for the biggest upset in SEC in a long time, the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Not in Columbia.
I'm sorry, but 21 points is too hard to ignore. Give me Mizzou walking them.
Mizzou. Next one.
The Tennessee Volunteers are on the road against Oklahoma, and Tennessee is favored by 7.5. Snowman.
This is going to be a good game.
Overtime decides this one, but I'm going with Tennessee.
Dietz?
2 of the best coaches in the league, Josh Heupel's offense against Skeletor's defense in Oklahoma. I like what Oklahoma's doing. Too much Tennessee offense. That offense is clicking right now, and the way they run is just going to wear Oklahoma down. I got Tennessee on the road.
He said Skeletor's defense.
Yeah.
Chris, I love you for that, man.
I'm so torn because I like both these teams, but I think when it comes to just having too many horses, too many weapons, you gotta go with Tennessee on this one. Even though I'm a Steelers fan.
Give me the Bulls.
Unanimous. I'm taking Tennessee.
Next one.
The last game on the list. Who was UL? What does ULM stand for?
Louisiana.
University of Louisiana Monroe.
They might need to find a new acronym after facing off against Texas. Texas, 45-point favorites.
I'm taking Texas to cover that. I got Texas to win, and I got them to cover.
Texas, and the way they cover that is you're gonna see Arch Manning a lot in the fourth quarter of this game.
Vic?
Yeah, I got to go with the Longhorns on this one. Straight up.
Good.
Dear ESPN analyst, if you pick Louisiana Monroe, you're smoking something. Give me something.
Oh, what is it that Undertaker came out with from time to time when he was making these picks for college? Give me the horns. Yep. ULM's going to need to figure out a new word after they get their tails handed to them in this one.
University of Louisiana Monroe is a 1.5-star school.
Ooh.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
That's the 8 games we've got.
A good game to be doing
and we just got totally Dietz for the
first
time.
There's one more extra one, which is I know you guys picked Georgia Tech as your upset of the week. Upset of the week is going to be the game after that. Number 13, Kansas State at Brigham Young in Provo. Brigham Young shows up in Provo, and that's a scary place for a top-ranked team to play.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Seen it too many times.
I was happy when KU went into BYU and beat them. I was happy with that because it's been a while since we won a big game like that in the Big 12. But K-State, they got to come to play like we came to play last year.
The upsets are abound.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Which is?
What the hell is going on with my Jayhawks?
It's the Jayhawks.
That's a good question. I thought the Jayhawks were going to do extremely well.
And then they lost to ILLINI.
Mhm.
And then they turn around and they lost to Nevada, Las Vegas.
UNLV.
Well, I mean, Kansas is doing Kansas things. They're shooting 3-pointers when they should be throwing for touchdowns. I mean, that's what Kansas does. Kansas does basketball. They're yeah, they get that run where they have like a good season, and then all of a sudden, then they just fall flat on their face. That's just what Kansas does.
I love it.
I was so excited coming into this year. I went to Brian and I said, we're winning the Big 12.
You did.
Yes,
And
I was having so much confidence, like I'm a Cowboys, like I'm a part of the moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation.
Good.
That's how I walked into the season, and I'm hanging my head high and saying I was wrong.
Hey, maybe the Cosmos are giving you a freebie because of the Atlanta pick. They're like, we're not gonna give you that Kansas pick, but that Atlanta pick though, we're gonna give you that one.
I've already in terms of Atlanta, I've already surrendered when they beat Philadelphia on Monday night. I've already surrendered that. That's why I'm living it down. You just got Totally Dietz for the best 40+ minutes ever on sports radio and sports television with Chris Dietz. He'll join us every Thursday morning about this time to talk some college football. Thank you, brother. We love you very much. Thanks for coming aboard.
Thank you, guys.
Love you, Dietz.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full